guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video I am going to talk about this idea of self. I will also touch upon what Descartes and Locke said about the self. Without any delay, let's jump right in. We all have heard that one holy line in philosophy: I think, therefore I am. We all know what it means, but for those who just started their philosophical journey, I may explain it real fast. The French philosopher René Descartes said, I think, therefore I am, meaning I as an entity exists, no matter what form or type. It is certain that if I am thinking, I have to exist. Think it like a tokenized proof of one's existence. Every time an entity asks this, it can be certain that it exists. I will make a separate video on this one line itself later because there is so much to unpack, but this should suffice for now. Descartes gave a very compelling argument in favor of one's existence, and this one line has everything, be it assertion, reason or conclusion. Kind of beautiful in some sense, but wait a minute, does that also mean that self exists? I mean, I and the self are two distinct things here. I, as Descartes uses it, is at the moment only. We know that I changes every moment, and so the I that existed 5 minutes ago does not exist anymore, and the I that exists now won't exist a moment later. There is no continuity of I. And also, if you see from a materialistic point of view, our body changes every moment and the cells divide and die. So it is established that I change every moment. Keep this concept in mind. We will need it later in this video. Now, the self is defined as who we are as a whole, our nature and our qualities. So, self is the continuity of I, and here I am arguing that this continuity does not exist and it is only an illusion. John Locke says that personal identity is a matter of psychological continuity, and this continuity does not exist in nature, but our mind makes that continuity. Take this example. If you shake some agarbatti, you see some bright curvy lines. You should see some dots because that is how it exists in reality. But we see some lines because that is how our vision works, and that is the limitation of our body and our mind. Let me give 3 specific scenarios where even the illusion of self breaks. First case is when someone has multiple personality disorder. That person for some time changes his original personality and becomes someone else. The behavior, the way of thinking, everything changes. Take the example of Manjulka from Bhool Bhulaiya movie. And this also happens very much in real life. You can find those videos on YouTube if you haven't already seen them. So, in the movie, Avni becomes Manjulka and talks and walks differently. When she is Manjulka, there does not exist an Avni. So, if there is no continuity of personality, how can the self exist when the very definition says that it is the combination and continuation of behavior? Second case is when we go to sleep. There is no self. Even I does not exist at that moment. And when we wake up, it suddenly feels like self. But where did the self go when we are asleep? Did it also go to sleep? Or it died and came back to life? When the whole idea of self is based on continuity, and the continuity itself does not exist, the self does not exist. Third case is when someone is hypnotized. The person who is hypnotizing can make you do things you would not even remember. The hypnotized person becomes like a doll, dancing on someone else's finger. When the person is hypnotized, he is not he was moments ago. And here the continuity has been broken, hence the self does not exist. There is also the physicalist argument of mind, which can also support the non-existence of self. It is same as the ship of Theseus. It says that if you change a cell from my body one after another, when shall I cease to exist, or exactly where do I exist? So the conclusion is, and tell me if I am wrong, that the self does not exist, because in order for self to exist, there has to be continuity in I, but that continuity does not exist. I exist in the moment only because I think, therefore I am. If you want a more detailed video on this topic with all the arguments included, do let me know in the comments. I hope you found it interesting. Please give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more videos.